All right, cool. Recording now. All right, so what I wanted to make sure we were okay with was what happened last week when we were talking about, or Monday or whenever it was. Was that Monday? Yeah, feels like forever ago. Today's Wednesday? Yeah. Was 2.3, which is the last new thing from this this whole semester, honestly. Okay. And what, sorry, I know I'm probably giving you guys a headache, but what I wanted to make sure is that you knew how to do it. So I wrote up here, let me turn off the light so you lose that glare a little bit, was how to get these things done and what we're getting at. Okay, in this section, how does that look? Can you see that? Of course, it's still glared. I'll hold it up like that, it's a little better. In this section, what we can figure out are what those x-intercepts are. Okay, and that's the only thing that we didn't know how to do yet, right? We could find y-intercepts, we could find the vertex, we could figure out if it opens up or opens down, all that stuff. Last thing that we didn't know how to do was find the x-intercepts. And so that's what I wrote down. 2.3 is just called factored form. Helps us find those x-intercepts. And I wanted to give you a super quick recap of how to do that, right? Set it equal to 0, because that's when y is 0, and that's when we're on the x-axis, right? Split those factors into two parts. So like you're given some function, right? F of x, I don't know, x plus 3 and 2x minus 1, something like that. What do you mean my camera's not on? Of course it's on. I'm right here. So we're given some function, right? And when it's factored, which is just two parentheses next to each other, things being multiplied together. If I want to find where this thing is equal, or where it runs into the x-axis, that's when y, which is f of x, is 0. So I set the function equal to 0. What we talked about on Monday is that if you've got two things that multiply and give you 0, either the first one's got to be 0, or the second one's got to be 0. There's only two ways to multiply to 0 when you got two numbers, right? The first one's 0, or the second number 0, or they're both 0. They can't both be 0 at the same time. But what I can do is kind of separately see what happens if, so like right down the middle, right where these parentheses are, right, kind of right where they meet, right below that, I'm going to put this long vertical line to kind of split my work into two parts, where either the first one is 0 or the second one is 0. And it takes me from this one equation that I had no idea how to solve because there are two different x's. One equation that I can't solve, now I've got two much simpler ones that I can, right? If the first one is 0, cool, 0 times whatever, 0, nice, there's an answer. Or if the second one's 0, okay, whatever times 0 is 0, and we're good to go. And I just kind of solve them separately, right? Subtract 3 on both sides for this one, x equals -3, and I'm done with that one. Add 1 on both sides, so 2x equals 1, divide by 2, and x equals 1/2 or 0.5, either one's cool, right? Either version works. And that was really all we did in 2.3, and I just wanted to make sure I kind of give you just a quick recap of that, because now we're done, and that's it. And that's all we'll need for this section for now, right? When we get back in January, we're going to start this section again, but we're not going to have functions that are factored yet. I'm going to show you how to get to that point, right? If they give you something in vertex form, they give you something in standard form, how are we going to find the x-intercepts? And factoring is one way to do that, and I'll show you how to do that. Any questions about this? The idea is right there, 1, 2, 3, right? Set the function equal to 0, separate the factors, so these are called factors, right? And create two equations, right? Set equal to 0, and then solve each equation separately. And they're like, if you graphed this, you'd see you'd run to the x-axis right there at -3, and right here at 1/2. Okay, all good there? Sweet. Okay. All right. Now that that's done, I'm coming back to my seat over here. Let you guys plug back in there. I wanted to talk to you about what I put on Canvas really recently. Yesterday, last night sometime. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. And this is how you'll kind of spend the next week and a half getting yourself ready for the final. Okay. If you go to Canvas, and you can go there right now, or you can just kind of watch me do it. And just so you know how to navigate from here, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you, but also I want to give you a chance to boost your grade before the final. Okay. So what I did under assignments, right up at the top, is I made a whole group for the final exam. Okay. Of course, you click on the final exam. It kind of breaks the whole thing down. Somebody wants in. Let's see who it is. KJ, come on in, Cage. What's up, Cage? So the breakdown for the final exam is sitting right there, right? Assignments, right up at the top, final exam, so that there's no question about what to expect about about 2 weeks from now, okay? Period 6, you guys will take it at 10 o'clock on Wednesday, the 16th. Period 7, you guys will take it. Obviously, it could be period 7 right now, but period 7, they'll take theirs at 8 o'clock on Thursday. They will be slightly different questions, so that period 7 doesn't get any advantage over you guys having it a day later. And of course, we'll be taking it virtually, right? Here we are, stuck at home. So I will have this. So these are linked already to the Google Meets for those days. You have to leave your camera on the whole time while we do it, so I can try to ensure the integrity of the exam as much as possible. And what's going to happen is you're going to get an email to your school Gmail account right before the start of that class, so 9:59 or at 7:59. That'll probably, this is the way I'm doing it. I did it in honors pre-calc today. I actually gave my final exam today, so we can kind of move on to the calculus stuff, to a Google form. Okay. Questions will be multiple choice, but some of those questions are obviously going to require some work to get you to the right answer that I want to make sure you know how to do, right? Negative b over 2a for vertex and standard form, or like solving systems of equations with substitution. I want to see some of those things worked out. And so although all of the questions will have the right answer listed there somewhere, you will need to upload your work to this assignment right here by the end of that class, right? So 11:30 for us here in period 6, or if you're period 7, 9:30 the next day. Okay, so that's what it says down here, right? Questions that require separate work will be noted, so you know you have to do work for that one to get full credit. And you just upload it right to this assignment. Okay, so you'll upload any separate work you did by hand. Your name and date's got to be at the top to this assignment, so you can earn full credit for correct questions, or hey, maybe even get some partial credit for the ones that you get wrong. Okay, if you don't put your name at the top, I don't know that it's you, so there's no credit there. Okay, and from there below, what I wanted to try to do was break down what to expect on this final and what we've done so far this year. Okay, so you've got chapter 0 stuff, which was solving the one variable equations. Chapter 1, which was just a little bit about functions and some lines. So you've got domain and range, mins and maxes, increasing, decreasing. I'm going to drop the positive and negative off of that and just do these 6. 1.2 was transformations. 1.6 was systems, right? And then all of our chapter 2 stuff with quadratics. Okay, vertex form, standard form, and then Monday's factor form that I just talked about. Okay, now how are we actually going to get ourselves ready for this? Well, if you go back to assignments, underneath that link to the final exam breakdown is a review for every section except the one that we just did. Okay, that's brand new. It's right there, homework 2.3. I'll put up the solutions to that later today, maybe tomorrow. But it's as simple as it gets. So I'm not going to spend any time reviewing that. But what I did want to do was give you a chance to, 1, obviously get ready for this final so you do really well. But 2, boost your grade going into that finals week. We've got a week and a half to get us to that point. Here's the breakdown, okay? So there's a review for all these sections, and you can see the due dates. The 3rd, that's tomorrow. The 6th, the 7th, the 9th, the 11th, and the 15th get us to the day before the final, okay? You can always do them early, okay? But I won't take anything after, okay? And if you click on like review for section 0, here it is, right? You can click there. I'll open that in a second. Find, so because this is going to be the one long big review. Okay, find, complete, and submit your work for section 0. Work's got to be handwritten. Your name must be written at the top. This one's due Thursday. This one's due tomorrow before midnight. And you can get 3 points added back to your lowest assessment grade for getting this thing in on time. Okay, so whatever your lowest quiz or test grade is, if you get this done, doesn't have to be perfect, right? Effort and completion. I mean, correctness is always a good thing if you want to do well on the final, but effort and completion mostly. I'll throw you 3 points back on your lowest grade, okay? And it's not 3 percentage points, that's 3 points, right? Out of 20 or out of 40 or out of 60 or out of 30 or whatever it was, right? And so if you click on that link, it'll take you to this review, and eventually this review will be full of all one of the 7 sections of review, okay? And this one's right here at the top, right? Section 0, solving one variable equations, extra credit due date, tomorrow the 3rd. And I just gave you a bunch of different examples that you can work on, okay? If you can do all those, you're good. And I'm gonna pull up something for section 0 right now to give you a heads up as to how to get those done, okay? But you'll see like the rest of them will be there too. Section 1 will be due Sunday. I'll release that as soon as I get it done, right? Next one, we'll just do writing class on Monday. So we'll do that review live, just kind of like you'll do the section 0 review live right now if you can. Systems will be Wednesday. Vertex form will be due Friday. Standard form will be due on Tuesday. Okay. So the breakdown of the type of review is obviously right on the final exam, right? It tells you what sections are what. But each of the reviews, because some will be a little bit harder, some take a little bit more work, some are pretty quick. There'll be different kinds of extra credit because I wanted to, like, some people have good test grades but bad homework grades. Some people have good homework grades but bad test grades. And I wanted to make sure that because you can only increase your grades so much if you only go after one group of types of assignments, right? So section 0 is 3 points. Section 1.1, same thing, 3 points added. So that's 3 more points added back to your lowest assessment grade. But if you look at like 1.2, obviously the questions aren't out yet. I will do those soon. I will drop any missing homework, or I will change your lowest homework score to a 5 out of 5. Okay, which could help a lot if your homework grade is kind of dragging you down. Okay, 1.6. Okay, you can get anywhere from 1 to 4 points, 1 to 4 points added back to your lowest 1.6 quiz or test grade for completing this one on time. Obviously, effort, completion, and correctness here are going to play a role in how many points you get back. Okay, and what you'll see is there's going to be 4 questions. You do 1, you get 1. You get 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Okay, so it's all right there. Hopefully, really super obvious what to do, how to do it. I will cover, I'll do like little, you'll see here in a second, little breakdowns of how to get these done, like a how-to section of notes. And I will sit here and wait your questions, okay? I don't think you sitting on a computer all day, every day is good for you and is going to help you learn. So I don't want to make you stick around for 45, 50 minutes every time we do this. I would rather give you the freedom, the autonomy to do what you need to do. You know what your grade is. You know how well you understand this stuff. And if you choose to do nothing, that's on you. Okay, your grade's going to reflect that. And if you don't care, then that's on you, right? But I think everybody in here wants to do well, right? Whatever that means for them. And if you are not where you want to be, this is your chance to do that. You've got basically 2 weeks to get yourself some points back. And of course, I'll take anything like 1.6 and beyond that you haven't done yet. If you're missing homeworks or missing a test or something like that, you got to reach out. We got to figure this thing out, okay? Because I want you to get the best grade that you can at the end of the semester, okay? So that's what I wanted to make sure that I spent some time talking to you guys about is what you've got going on these next couple weeks, right, which is all those reviews. And I will try to get those reviews out sooner rather than later for those next sections, but you've got plenty of work for these next couple days. And right behind me there is how to do section 0, okay, which we spent a lot of time on early on, but I know it's been a while, but it's really just solving equations, right? How to solve one variable equations. I'll scoot that a little closer and you can zoom in if you want. But we're just solving those one variable equations, and it's all about undoing what's happening to x, right? And there's a couple details there that I thought were helpful. I'll bring this with me so you can see a little bit bigger. Helpful to remember about how to solve equations, right? Just kind of do the opposite of what's happening. So you start with addition, subtraction, just kind of work your way up from there. And if you have addition, then subtract. If you have subtraction, then add. Okay, cool, that step's done. Now I multiply and divide and do the opposite. Then I have exponents and roots, right? If I have x squared, I got to take the square root. If I have x to the 5th, I have to take the 5th root, okay, like that. And that'll be one of the last things that I do because it's way at the top, other than those grouping symbols, okay? And then the two things that we seem to forget a little bit is when to use the plus or minus, okay? And that's only when we take even roots. So if you have x squared, 2 is an even number. X to the 4th, 4 is an even number, I would use it then, okay? If it was x to the 5th, that's an odd number, I wouldn't do that, okay? And any negative numbers under an even root, that's what that word says in that little root spot, says even, so the square roots, the 4th roots, whatever, that's always gonna be no real solution, right? Because we cannot take an even square root, an even 4th root, any kind of even root like that with a negative number underneath, because you multiply negative numbers together, you're going to get some positive ones if you've got an even number of them. Okay. So, question from Sean is a good one. Do we need to do the reviews for attendance? Okay. So here's my deal with attendance. Okay. I'm going to send out that Google form for attendance. And just like if you were in class, if you are here, you are present. Whether you're doing stuff is not attendance. That's going to be reflected in your grade, okay? So you'll see every day I will send out the Google form for you to just kind of log yourself in, and I'll probably have like a little question in there like I did with this last one yesterday. I had a few people answer it, and the question was what's good? I just wanted to see what was going on with you guys, okay? And the question's going to change every day to make sure that you're actually engaging a little bit with me so I know what's happening and I can kind of help you out. Grant, it's going to be on Canvas. So Canvas announcement, just like I've done literally since day like 3. I've put up an announcement every single day. Here, let me show you. I'll present it. Good question, though. I'm glad you guys are asking these questions. Right on the homepage, right at the top, you will see all of the announcements listed with the newest ones at the top. So yesterday I put this one out, okay? Right, mandatory, click here to check in for attendance. Mandatory, click here for homework 2.3 due tonight. Okay, if you have any missing work, talk to me. Reach out via Canvas inbox or email if you have anything, and I'll see you guys today, right? So that's always gonna be there, sitting there waiting for you. So there'll be a Thursday one, there'll be a Friday one, a Monday, Tuesday, there's gonna be one every single day. Okay, so just check for those. So to answer your question kind of long-windedly, Sean, no. You don't have to do the reviews for attendance, okay? The Google form is all you need for me to do that attendance. If you want your grade to go up, you'll do the reviews. If you want to do well on the final, you'll do a review. You guys are young men and women. You are in control of your education. And at this point, if you are unwilling to do this work, then your grade's going to reflect that, and that's on you, right? That's your choice. It's your grade. It's your diploma. It's your future. So you guys get to make that choice. I won't make the reviews really long, right? And I'm giving you plenty of time to do it. So, I mean, this one's 14 questions, or 12 questions, something like that. And they're not super long. It'll take you a half hour or so if you know what you're doing. And if you don't, then that's an issue that we want to make sure we work through, right? And I'll hold office hours and stuff. And obviously we'll be live Monday and Wednesday again. And that's the time where you'll come in and you'll ask questions. And if you don't know me by now, I want to do everything I can to help you get the best grade. I don't want to hold you back. I want to lift you up. So you just got to let me know what you need. Okay, and that kind of goes for everybody. So so that's the deal. I'm going to stick around for anybody that wants to work through some Section 0 stuff, ask questions, even 2.3 stuff if you're still confused about that, or really anything, right? If there's anything that's bugging you guys, I'm happy to work through that. I'm just going to take attendance real quick, so just pause yourselves. I am recording that. It'll take attendance for me, so I'm good. So here's the deal. Stick around and work through the review if you want. If not, see ya. Check yourself in Thursday, check yourself in Friday, and I will see you on Monday. Okay, if you want to stop by office hours, I will have those too. Okay?
Hey, Mr. Rosengren, I have a question.
Sure.
How do we get to the like your recorded sessions? Because I was trying to look for.
Very good. Yeah. I'll present so you can see it. Those are really, really helpful because it takes a lot of work off my plate because I've got lots to do to get ready for the end of the semester here. And I've already taught all this stuff and it's all recorded. So right on campus, obviously go to our class. And it's under pages. Now you don't, any of these with the I crossed out, you can't see those. This is just from my side. But if you click on pages at the top, so this is like just a home page that we have to have. But if you click on view all pages, Google Meet recording links. Okay, now these go by date. Okay, and it might be hard to know which one you want to click on. And so what you can do, and maybe I'm going to add this. They're all just YouTube videos that's uploaded to YouTube. Every teacher has a teacher YouTube channel. Let me go to my channel here. What I'll do, there's a playlist for Algebra 2. What I'm going to do, I will copy this because not only does it have the dates, but it tells you what it is. Right, September 16th, 1.1, finish 1.1, quiz 1.1, 1.2, transformations, and then transformations practice, and then systems, and like there's lots of stuff all worked out. Oop, honors pre-calc, that should be another one. 2.1, 2.2, right, 2.3, all right there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come to here. I'm going to edit this page so that you can get right to that playlist. Algebra 2 YouTube playlist. I'm going to make that clickable. This way, you don't have to know what date something happened. You can just go right to it and just find your section that you're looking at. There you go.
All right. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
You go. You're welcome. See ya.
Hey, Rosie, can I get some help with homework 2.3? Like sure. Number 1 and 2 specifically?
Sure. All right. Let's do it. Let me pull it up. All right. So the deal with these, I'm going to share my screen so people at home can see what's going on. The deal with homework 2.3, I kind of mentioned before, is that the only thing that we can really tell easily when a function is factored like these 5 are what the x-intercepts are, right? And what happens is that, right, f of x, g of x, h of x, call it whatever you want, every single one of these is just y, right? Y equals. And if I'm on the x-axis somewhere, then y is 0 because I haven't gone up or down at all, right? And so what I can do, and I'll just kind of like do the work, is what this would look like, is I would take this part of the function, just the factored part. Come on, what's happening? There we go. And I would set it equal to 0. Because there it is, y equal to 0. Kind of like making like this train of equality where it's all equal to 0. Now, if I've got some function that's equal to 0, and it's broken up like this, you've got 2 different things, right? You've got x minus 4 times x minus 6, And whatever happens, you multiply them together and you get 0. Well, the only way for that to happen is if the first one's 0, right? Because 0 times whatever is 0. Or the second one's 0. Whatever times 0 is still 0. And so what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to kind of like break this up. Imagine me drawing this like a vertical line right there. And what I'll do is I will take x minus 4 and set that one separately equal to 0. And I'll take x minus 6 and I'll set that thing equal to 0. So again, imagine there's kind of a long line right here kind of splitting these two apart. And I'll just deal with those two separately, right? Okay, I'll add 4 here, I'll add 4 there. Okay, so x equals 4 and I'm done. All right, let me give it a little space. All right, I'll add 6 here, I'll add 6 there. The 6's all cross out on the left. Get rid of that, sorry. Okay, so the only thing I'm left with on that side is x. Okay, so x equals 6 and I'm done. And that's the strategy no matter what the factors are. So if it's 2, okay, x minus 1 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. For 5, 4x minus 3 equals 0 and 3x minus 2 equals 0. I'm always just going to split those two factors apart. So this first step is critical. You got to first set it equal to 0 because that's what allows you to split them apart. You can't just jump down to this line. I need this first line of work right here that says, okay, here's a specific spot that I'm looking for on this graph. I'm looking for the spot where y is equal to 0. Why? Because that's where I'm going to run at the x-axis, and that's all I'm looking for. Cool. Now I've got that. Nice. Now I'll split them apart. First one equal to 0, drop the parentheses. I don't need them anymore. Second one, again, there's like this long line right here that you can't see. I imagine it looks something like that, right? So you like kind of separate your work and you just go to work, right? You solve this one however you need to. Okay, cool. I'll add 4 to both sides. Add 6 to both sides for this one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Great.
And then I just do that kind of same strategy with all 5 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Every time. Some of them will be nice numbers like these. Some of them might be fractions. Some of them might be decimals. That's cool. This is going to happen, right?
Okay.
Just make sure that if you're going to use a decimal, that it ends, right? You can't use like 0.3333333, forever. I can't use that decimal. I have to use 1/3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But most of them are going to work out nice.
All right. Okay, that makes perfect sense. And what should I title this category that we're doing?
So when functions are written like this, they're called factored. Okay.
Yeah.
So call it factored form. But really what we're doing is we're finding the x-intercepts.
Factored form, finding x-intercept. Got it.
Right, which is we can call the roots as well. So call them the roots, call them the x-intercepts. It means the same thing. But when it's written like this with these like parentheses next to each other, it's called factored.
Perfect. Alrighty, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then, so does the review look a lot like homework 2.3?
So the review is going to be like everything
we've learned.
And yeah.
Okay.
You're going to see that like section 0 is solving equations, and section 1.1 is like domain and range, and section 1.2 is transformations. I'm just going to kind of go back through everything we've done. So they're going to look a lot like the homeworks or the quizzes that we did for those sections.
Okay, so look back at your notes kind of thing.
Exactly.
All right, okay, we'll do. That's all I need to know. All right, thank you, Rosie.
Thanks, Car. See you, bud.
Yeah, I'll see you.